Hi, good morning, and welcome to day 27 of this course, our course, Differential Calculus. Today we are going to work with operations on functions, also called algebra of functions. And what we're going to do is that we are going to be given two functions, f of x and g of x, like this example. We are going to sketch each one of them, f of x on the first xy plane, g of x in the second xy plane, and we're going to sketch the resulting function f of x minus g of x, in this case, this operation, in the third xy plane, and find the domain and range of that resulting function that comes from subtracting g to f. Okay, so these are very basic functions. As you can see, f of x is just x, and g of x is the absolute value of x. It's an absolute value function. So let's start sketching the first function, which I think I will use this color, black. And x, you already know, x is a line. It goes to the y-axis on 0, the origin. It goes to the origin. And the slope is 1, because the coefficient, as you know, is 1. So the slope is 1, that is, it's 45 degrees. The slope is 1, 45 degrees. So let's, this is one point of the graph. We said it goes to the origin, so this has to be 1 point. Another point should be -6 and -6. So this is 1 point. Another point is 6 and 6. So this is another point, and I can draw the line now. Okay, I'm going to draw the line. It goes through this all the way through here. Okay, like this. Okay, it's this line. Okay, we already know that this is a line. It's not a segment, so it is a line here and here. It goes to infinity and negative infinity. And then the absolute value, we also know that it goes to the origin, that is 1 point of the graph. It's again goes through 6 and 6 and -6 and 6, because the absolute value, as you know, of -6 is, of course, 6. So one part is here, and the other part is something here, like this. Okay, and also goes to infinity and negative infinity. Okay, so what is the resulting function? We are supposed to subtract g from f of x. So what we have to do is to subtract all the y's from f. For example, let's take the points at the origin. The y's are 0, so the y coordinate at that point, well, at that value of x, 0, is 0 for x and 0 for g. So the function, I'm going to use a different color. The resulting function is also at the origin. I'm just subtracting the y's, the y coordinate, at a given value of x. For example, let's try 3, maybe two negative values. For example, let's try -3. Okay, at -3, f of x, I'm going to write the names here. This is f of x, and this is g of x. Okay, so when x equals -3, f of x is here, so it's -3 and what? And -3, right? -3 and -3. And when g of x is -3, it's here, -3 and 3. So I have to subtract. I'm going to locate myself in the resulting function in the third xy plane at -3. So I have to subtract the y coordinate of x, of f. I have to subtract the y coordinate of g to the y coordinate of f. So it's going to be, what is the y coordinate of f? -3. And I have to subtract the y coordinate of g, 3. So it will be -3 minus 3. and minus 3, and minus 3 is, I'm sorry, minus 3 is minus 6. So when x equals minus 3, the resulting function is here at minus 6. Okay, I'm just subtracting the y coordinates at some specific x value. Let's try another one, another negative value, minus 6. Let's try minus 6. Okay, so f of x. When f of x is minus 6, we have a point of minus 6. Minus 6, minus 6. I'm sorry, minus 6. And when g of x is minus 6, we have a point that is minus 6 and 6, right? Because it's the absolute value. So I have to subtract the y coordinates. Of course, I have to be here on the third xy coordinate at minus 6. And I'm just going to subtract the y coordinates and find the resulting y coordinate of f minus g. So the y coordinate of f of x is minus 6, and I have to subtract the y coordinate of g, 6. Okay? So what is minus 6? Minus 6 is going to be minus 12. So minus 12 is maybe 9, 10, 11, 12, somewhere around here. So somewhere around here. Okay? So I can see that I'm going to have another line, this part, in this part, something like this. Okay? Now I have to see what happens for the positive values. Okay? I can see there is a pattern for the negative values, it's a line. And I have to see what is the pattern or what happens for the positive values. So I'm going to use another two values for x, for the positive values of x. And I'm going to use again 3 and 6. 3 and 6. So I'm going to find the 2 points, the y coordinates when f and g, the y coordinates when x equals 3. Okay, so when x equals 3, I have a point here on f that is 3 and 3, 3 and 3. And g of x is going to be 3 and 3 also, 3 and 3. So I have to subtract the y coordinate of f minus the g coordinate of, the y coordinate of g. So it's going to be 3 minus 3, right? They are both the same, so 3 minus 3 is 0. So my point is here, on the x-axis. Okay, now when x equals 6, when x equals 6, f, the y coordinate of f is 6 again, 6, 6. And the y coordinate of g when x equals 6 is going to be 6, according to this graph. 6 and 6. So again, I have to subtract 6 to 6. And 6 minus 6 is, of course, 0. So I can see that there is a pattern here. Okay, it's going to be, all of them are going to be negative. So I will have something like this for the positive values of x. So my function is going to continue going down if I move to my left. And it's going to continue to be 0 if I move from to my right. Okay, so that is the resulting function. Okay, the one on the third xy plane. And what is the domain and range? They're asking me for the domain and the range. Okay, so the domain, I'm going to write D and R for domain and range. What's the domain? Well, I can see that the function exists for all values of x, so they are all the real values of x. What is the range? The range, I can see that the function goes to negative infinity if I move to my left. So it looks like it comes from negative infinity to what value on the y-axis? To 0. And it's on 0. It gets to 0 on the y-axis. So that is my range. Okay, that is this example. Okay, now it's your turn. You do this, you try this one out. For the following functions, f of x equals x and g of x equals the absolute value of x, find f of x plus g of x and the domain and range. So we are talking about the same functions, f of x and g of x. So you already know how to sketch the graph for the first two xy planes, and I think it will be we won't have any trouble sketching the graph of f of x plus g of x. We already did f minus g by subtracting the y-coordinate of g to the y-coordinate of f. So in this case, instead of subtracting, you have to add those y-coordinates, okay, and find the main range. So you try this one out.